Hello and welcome to the top 10 most popular power characters as chosen by you guys, the BBS community. Before I get started, there is currently a poll for the top 10 mind characters that you can vote on by clicking in the link in the description below. Much like this list and the list before it, the results will be turned into a top 10 list at the end of the week. So please pause the video and go vote now, or at the end of the video. That said, thank you guys so much for voting, and here's the result for the top 10 most popular power characters.
見えるかよ。地獄が俺にすがりついてるぜ。よそ者の俺に手を貸してでもてめえを逃がしはしねえぞよ。
Starting off the list at number 10 is vs Ichigo, who if I'm being honest is kind of a surprise, as I expected him to be much higher on the list. This is because when we found out that the movie characters were coming out, everyone couldn't wait to get this Ichigo. That and the fact that he's a protagonist made me think that he was going to be much higher on this list. But the people have spoken, and I guess they weren't too happy that he ended up being an ad character. Still, he's pretty great. He's got one of the highest attacks in the game, as well as a boosted normal attack damage link and a plus 50 bruiser. That's plus 75 attack just by himself. He can also inflict weakening on his strong attack 3 and his special, and he has debilitator. Ichigo's strong attack 2 is also a vortex move, which allows him to trap his enemies only to be able to hit them with his normal attack. Overall, this Ichigo's pretty good. Though I won't lie, I was expecting a bit more from this character, and I'm sure a lot of other people were too. Still, it is a great character, and he did get several votes to be able to end up on number 10.
どうやら仕置きが足らんようじゃの。
At number 9, we have Tag Team Yama, who I didn't even expect to become a character. Still, they made him, and they did a really good job. This Yama has a really high SP as well as Frenzy and a strong attack damage link, as well as a double killer, which these days is a really useful thing for a character to have, because it increases their overall usability in things like inheritance zones, droplet zones, or guild quests. And Yama got one of the best ones of Soul Reaper and Hollow. They also gave him burn on everything he does, as well as debilitator, and a ranged normal attack. This Yama also has fire immunity as one of his 6-star abilities, which can really come in handy. His strong attack 3 is a charge move, which when fully charged and built correctly can do as much damage as a special, and his strong attack 2 is one of those vortex moves, which collects everybody in one place before delivering a bigger hit. Tag Team Yama is very useful in almost every situation. Still, I wouldn't take him in PvP, as you can't really charge your strong attack 3 in PvP, and these days normal attacks kind of dominate.
行くぞ。頼一様の素晴らしさを思い知れ。
At number 8 is a character that, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of totally forgot existed. Don't ask me why, I just don't see her around. Still, it's a pretty good character. Someone has a really high SP as well as Frenzy, and it can be played in a variety of different ways thanks to her piercing normal attack and her boosting strong attack 2, as well as her enhancer ability. And you're probably thinking, what does this mean? Well, thanks to this combination, it means that she can have an attack of over 800 for a period of time, and her normal attacks being piercing means that they'll be able to hit enemies that are behind other enemies, rapidly increasing the combo and getting things done a bit quicker. Or you can play the character the way it was probably meant to be played, which is prioritizing her strong attacks. Doing things this way will still allow you to use your normal attack, as you can still have it boosted about half the time. Overall, she's a pretty good character, though I will say they could have given her a better link. Stamina recovery can be useful, but I'm sure the community would have preferred something a little bit better.
仰せのままに。いかがでしょう。
Well, Gecko, you did it. Swimsuit Nemu is now the 7th most popular power character in the entire game. It's also the number 1 least skipped special in the entire game. Now whether there's a correlation there or not, I don't know. Still, the character itself is actually pretty good, and I feel like it's the only character I don't mind to have the stamina recovery link. Cause Nemu's actually pretty good at autoing, as she not only has the stamina recovery link, but she's also a healer. And although her stats may not be as high as some of the other characters on this list, they're still not bad. Nemu also has a Soul Reaper killer, and her unskippable special also inflicts burn. Now I know some of you may be screaming at the screen, wondering how it's possible that Nemu made it at number 7, when vs Ichigo made it at number 10. To which the answer is simply, it's a popularity contest, not a contest of strength. And the other characters simply just don't have an inflatable shark. And I kinda feel like that's on them.
夕闇にいざない。色くまる。うおー。
At number 6 on the list is Sena, who's actually proven herself to be more useful than I originally thought. She's got a really high SP as well as Frenzy, and she has a strong attack too that's a vortex move, which is really where this character shines the most, as it makes her really good in guild quests. But she's also good in any sort of PvE. She has a hollow killer and a strong attack recharge link, as well as good range on all of her strong attacks. Though sadly her strong attack 3 isn't a full screen strong attack, though her special is, and it also inflicts defense weakening. Honestly, I'd be lying if I said I didn't expect to see her on the list. So apparently it's not a popularity top 10 list if we don't see 2 Ichigos on the list. So here's your second Ichigo, or second and third if you're counting white. Like the other one, I also expected to see this guy in this list, and it doesn't surprise me that he made it as high as number 5. Tag Team Ichigo is still very good. He's got a double killer and the best possible double killer of Soul Reaper and Rancor, as well as a really high SP and Frenzy. Ichigo also has a decent attack, and his normal attack is actually pretty fast. Ichigo also has great range on his strong attacks, having a full screen strong attack 3 and a vortex strong attack 2, which is one of the bigger and longer lasting vortexes. All of this, especially his double killer, make him a great character to take in inherited zones, droplet zones, or extreme co-op. I can absolutely see why he's so many people's favorite power character.
Yukuso! Shunko!
Okay, so unlike the other characters on the list, I did not see this one coming, especially not at number 4. But don't get me wrong, I love Yoruichi, and this particular Yoruichi is personally one of my favorite characters. So I'm actually really glad she made it so high on the list. Just a bit surprised. Still, this Yoruichi is very good. She may not have one of the highest SPs anymore, but it's still pretty up there, and she has a boosted strong attack damage link of 25%. She also has one of the coolest strong attacks in the entire game, including a strong attack 2 that looks like something out of Kingdom Hearts, and a strong attack 3 that's basically a lightning shotgun, which I don't know if you're aware is the best kind of shotgun. But where this Yoruichi shines the most is in her ability to move really quickly. She not only has extra flash steps, but she also has long stride, and this combination lets her move across the map incredibly fast. And even though she doesn't have a full screen strong attack, and her special's range is really bad, she's still not a terrible character to take in guild quests because she can move so quickly. She may not be the best choice, but it's doable. Her Rancor killer certainly helps.
行くぜグランレイセナさっさと死にやがれ
At number 3, we have a spot on number 5, Noitora Gilga, 6-arm version, who, unlike Yoruichi, I did expect to see on this list, though not nearly as high. Though I guess it does kind of make sense, as his popularity kind of went up with the addition of all these captains in PvP. Now this Noitora stats may not be high, but that does not mean his damage isn't there. This Noitora has Flurry, meaning his normal attack hit twice, and he has a normal attack damage link, which basically doubles thanks to the Flurry. He also has really good range on his normal attack, and a pretty good speed. And if you're thinking big deal he doesn't have damage reduction, then you would be right, he doesn't. But he does have the highest defense in the entire game, which may not really count for much when it comes to strong attacks, but considering PvP is mostly normal attack these days, that doesn't really matter. Noitora also has a really useful special. Sure, the damage may not be there, but it does inflict defense weakening, which he can later take advantage of. All this make Noitora pretty good for autoing too, not just PvP. And although his strong attacks may not do that much damage, they're still pretty useful. His strong attack 3 is a full screen and is useful for breaks, and his strong attack 2 is a vortex move, which is one of the best possible things a character like this can have, as it traps enemies and allows Noitora to hit them with his high damaging flurry normal attacks. This character was once one of the most sought after, and I can see why so many people hold him in high regard.
勝たせてもらうぜ
You guys remember Ferengi? Do you guys remember that whole thing? My, how far we've gone. For Ferengi to be number 2 in a popularity contest. Though you can totally see why. After all, he does have the second highest SP in the game, as well as an impressively high attack for an SP character. In fact, it may be the highest one, and I just checked, it is. He also has Frenzy, and phenomenal range on all of his strong attacks, as well as his normal attack. His strong attack 3 is a charge move that doubles in strength and increases in range when fully charged, and his special has a chance to instantly kill the enemy, and even if it doesn't, it's still full screen and does a really good amount of damage. All of this and his on-card killer make him really good for any sort of PvE, whether it's just a regular raid, an event, or guild quests. Honestly, the only thing that would make this character better is if they brought back his tail, or whatever that thing was on his Bankai. It was a tail, right? Let's just say it's a tail. And at this point, like the weeks before, I want to remind you to please go vote for the top 10 most popular mind characters in the poll that's linked in the description below. Once again, you guys knocked it out of the park with this one, and I hope you can do the same in the next one. That said, here are the 5 runner-up characters for this list who almost made it. Seriously, some of these were just 1 point away. Nah, I'm just kidding. This guy came out like yesterday. He wasn't even on the list.
4歩のうちに踏みしめた空間の治水化風のすべてを凍結する視界氷結
Okay, so is there any one of us who didn't think that this guy would be at number 1? I certainly knew he would be even before I made the poll, but what I didn't expect is the ridiculous number of votes. Seriously, Toshiro got more than numbers 3 through 10 and even all the honorable mentions combined. And honestly, I can't blame the community. This guy is that good and that popular. He put an end to the nightmare that was Fullbring Ichigo and then became the nightmare himself. And even though he's not as scary in PvP as he once was, he's still pretty good. And that's saying a lot considering this character really isn't a PvP character. He was clearly meant for PvE, as he has a strong attack recharge link and a hollow killer. Neither of those have ever really been useful in PvP. He has one of the highest SPs out there, and he has Frenzy. He can also inflict debilitating freezing on his strong attacks, normal attack, and his special, and his strong attacks are some of the quickest to activate. Not to mention they have incredible range, which pairs up just great with his strong attack recharge link, and it's what makes him great in any sort of PvE, regardless of what it is. His special, in addition to inflicting freezing, also inflicts defense weakening. He is one of very few characters that's both great in PvP and PvE, and it's no wonder he made it at number 1 on the list. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't yet, please go vote on the top 10 most popular mind characters, and I will see you here next week for the result of that poll.